3, 2, 1. Yo, this is your boy, the Omega Katana, and this is the 9th episode of Season 2 of the Omega 13 podcast. And here's my good friend, Mr. Anime, and here's a newcomer by the name of Alex. Introduce yourself.
Nice to be here.
You go on ahead, Alex.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Didn't expect this to happen today, but glad to join up as a guest.
Yeah, glad you joined. Glad you two are able to join at a last minute notice. Yep. Yeah, and sorry I haven't done any episodes as of late because I have work and whatnot, as well as not feel like doing any podcast episodes. And what's good, Mad Matt? How's it going? You just arrived for the party.
Yo, Mad Matt, what's up?
Yeah, because it's going to be a good one today, man. Because let me just show you the topic for today. Okay, so okay, so here's my messages. So bookmarks here. Bookmarks. Oh, so really good person here. Here's the tweet here. Just look at this crap here. And if you're in like, if you're in like circles of translation of foreign languages like anime or manga or foreign books, this thread here is a big no-no.
Dude, they're always actually freaking messing with the translations of stuff because basically they just want to push politics into everything, even anime. I mean, for freak's sakes, we don't need politics shoved down our throats, shoved right in our faces. And basically, I cannot just stand any of it whatsoever.
Yep. Here's his little thread here. And here are want to see the results? Look here.
Roasted.
Not beyond roasted. He's being barbecued.
Oh,
marinated and thrown into the oven.
Yeah. And here's my response here. I want me to read it, or you just let me just highlight it.
Go ahead and read it. I would love to actually hear how you actually wrote it out.
Yeah. Here's my tweet response on this. I have to disagree with you. Why? Because translation is an art, not a science. Because Japanese is one of those languages that cannot be properly translated into English. The readers want the most faithful translations of the work as close to the source as possible. Because some stuff cannot be translated properly into English. Like, for example, in Arabic, if you guys don't know, like, you know the term Rab. Because in English it means many different meanings. Because Rab basically means Lord. And in other languages, one word means another. If when it came to the pretext and whatnot.
Yes, like I had this problem when it came to like Transformers Fall of Cybertron, where they like changed the name of like Slag to Slug, and just out of habit I refer to him as Slag, and the context for that name is because they're referring to like metal or technological terms where it means like warped or melted metal or whatever, and yet in like the UK it's like an insult to women or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, example of a word meaning one thing but then elsewhere it's a completely different altogether.
Yeah, exactly. And just like being barbecued and whatnot. So here's a guy I responded to. Who does this translate for? Gotta cut more companies out of the ones I financially support, it seems. He translates manga. And here's his reply to this. I'm aware that I'm asking who does he translate for. I just posted a Wikipedia article to save me some time. Okay, and I don't know why the flying hell that people want to translate stuff if they don't want to they don't like.
I don't get it.
I don't get why you're in the field. Because basically,
I have no idea either.
I came across a setting on saying on Twitter about on the response about if you hate your customers, then quit. Because translation, you need those fans and customers in order to put food on the table, in order to turn on the lights, or have a food over your head, a roof over your head, or have a Nintendo Switch in your hand. Because what they are doing is not customer service. They're treating their customers with complete crap. Look, in fast food like Taco Bell and McDonald's, if you treat your customers like that, what will happen to you? I'll let you guys answer. You're fired. You're written up.
You're butt out the door. That's all I can say.
Butt out the door if you keep doing it. But here's the steps how you do it. First, you're written up, and then you get blasted by your boss. If you keep doing it, then you're fired. Might as well get out the door. Because the customer is always right in those situations. Because you don't even do that type of crap, man. And here's what Mad Matt said. Imagine if Voltom's got the funny treatment was injected with ultra-leftist BS. I'll just about lose my mother... Dude, Voltom's is basically, when it comes to certain stuff, it's definitely... It has the anti-war stuff, but really with this unneeded leftist SJW crap, it's not needed in Voltom's. It's a gritty, action, manly war story. And anti-war story. It's not unlike Gundam. Voltom's is basically like the show or the movie The Fugitive, which he got set up for doing a war crime, basically, and is on the run from his own forces.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. You see, they keep pushing, SJW rhetoric and stuff like that, and they also have to think, you got to think Democrat or liberal, because basically they're going against the liberal hive mind over on Twitter, and basically Twitter's just, a complete crap show over there.
Yeah, that's why I'm taking a break off of Twitter that much, because when I get off of Twitter, I feel much better. Look, my job at Taco Bell, it's not that much, but I feel alive there for some reason. I feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose. Yes, I'm making another person rich, but at least I'm contributing to society than being on Twitter all day, being depressed. My God, their negativity is pretty contagious there.
Hey, Omega, mind if I actually share a little comment with you?
Yes.
This is actually from the movie The Boondock Saints 2 All Saints Day. This is done by Rocco. There are two types of people in this world. You got your talkers, and then you got your doers. First, you got the talkers. All they got is nothing but talk. But when all is said and done, it's the doers who actually change the world. So which one are you? Are you just going to sit there and talk about it, or are you going to stand up and do something about it? So let me just ask you guys that. Yeah. Are you just going to sit here and just actually talk about all this crap that's going on in the world, or are you going to stand up and do something for it?
At least I choose the doers. I'll go with the doers, my friend, because basically the talkers just talk and talk and talk and whine and whine. That's why I stopped following the quartering, no offense, because he's a talker.
Exactly. And basically, I'm actually doing stuff myself, and I'm trying to help heal the anime community with my YouTube channel. And I'm actually pushing close to 100 subscribers.
Same here, dude. I got okay, yeah, I'll let you continue. Sorry about that.
I'm steadily actually sitting at 88 subscribers, and I definitely want to keep making more content for you guys, because basically I prefer actually trying to be the positive vibe within the community and try to actually either try to rebuild it or heal it as best as possible. Yeah, but I can't do it alone.
Can't do it alone.
More people like that.
Yeah, we need more people. We need more effort, because these guys have connections, dude. They know how to connect. Let me tell you that. Because they take advantage of one weakness. Us anime fans tend to be antisocial recluses.
Yeah, we're pretty attached to our hobbies.
Yes. We don't want any problems. We don't want any people fighting. Dude, we just want an escape of life. An escape. But now we're
Exactly.
being chased off out of our own escape due to people who claim, I call them grifters. Let's call them the grifters. Being chased by these grifters that were actually wolf in sheep's clothing and pushing us out of our own hobbies, our own circles.
They're pretty much the people that made fun of us now coming into our own spaces and telling us to get out when we made the space to get away from them the first time.
Yeah.
And it's why I'm much more positive to gatekeeping, because if you have nothing to fear from the gates, then by all means you're genuine. Come on in. If you want to learn the actual material and respect it for what it is, you got nothing to worry about. But it's the ones that seem to whine about gatekeeping that seem to be the most fervent to doing so, just to keep the actual people, the actual fan base away.
Yeah.
It's a double standard at work.
Yeah, it's a double standard, and they don't like our Kawi. You know how each circle of humans have their own culture or their way of doing things?
Mm-hmm.
And the anime community is no different. Like I'm talking about the North American anime community. How we do our own things. We have our own memes and jokes and the like. And these grifters don't even like that. They want to destroy the culture. They want to take over the culture. They want to... what's that word they love to use, which I can't even think right now? They love to steal the culture, and they're going to take it for their own. No, that's not going to happen, dude. And most of these guys... Yeah, most of these guys are basically in California, in like a coastal city in a gentrified neighborhood and the like. Yes, they're basically doing it virtually, unlike them doing it the first time physically when they kicked out all the poor people and minorities living in the poor neighborhoods they kicked out and gentrified. We're basically seeing a gentrification of anime, of the North American anime community as we speak.
They love to complain about it, but they're doing it themselves in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want our community to be gentrified. Because trust me, it's just missing that city feel when a city is gentrified. It was always the outcast that gets pushed out of his own home.
I mean, we should be pushing back at this because this is our hobby. We actually built this.
Yeah.
B, they should be making stuff themselves. And C, basically, they're just actually being ignorant cucks and just trying to destroy stuff that we actually hold dear, and basically milk us for our our quote unquote tears.
Yeah.
I'm using air quotes with that one. So it's just annoying as hell.
Yeah. Exactly. Anything you like to say, Alex?
No, you pretty much covered all the bases. I mean, we were here first, and they want to come in and invade.
And gentrified.
Yeah, and so like they like to pretend they're virtuous when they claim that they're going after the big bad evil colonizers, but there they are doing it themselves, and it pisses the rest of us off.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they think that we're the colonialists when they are, and basically, it's like the rules for thee, but not for me. But
exactly.
It should be the rules actually apply to all of us.
Yeah.
Either abide by our rules or just leave.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Here's what Mad Matt said here. You think SJW's creating stuff would roll well? But here's the thing. Everything they make suck. Thank you, dude.
Exactly.
Steven Universe sucked. Their run on Adventure Time after the creator left for another project sucked. That new cringe Magical Girl show sucked.
Yeah, Dishonored Wolf, back when he used to be on YouTube, he made a similar point where it was like he said he had no problem with SJWs making their own shit with their incompetence because they're never good at it, so long as they don't infest the the good shit with it, and now,
Yeah.
but then in like another video, he was like, "I'm gonna take it back now because, well, they suck and they can't create anything, and everything they do make, even when it's not connected to the stuff that we like, sucks anyway." So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, look at the Vic Mignogna situation. Like, look how Monica Rial,
Davis.
Jamie Martin,
Ah,
Chris
poor
Sabat,
Vic.
Sean Schemmel, and like all the rest of freaking most of Funimation just actually freaking kicked the guy straight to the curb.
They
Basically,
did to Vic what they're doing to Johnny Depp. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
They just destroyed his career, but Johnny Depp is way more famous than that, and dude, they're both really horrible. Like Hollywood's like really double standards when it comes to that stuff. I actually felt angry. I felt bad for Johnny for that, man.
exactly.
Corrupt.
Like I'll watch. I'll watch. Give me a new project with Vic Mignogna, and I'll fork over my money because at least I know he's at least one of the few decent fellows in the industry. And they even tried to go after another one. I can't remember her name. She played Colin Koski in Code Geass. She happened to like a tweet from President Trump, and they tried to drag her through the Hague over it.
Yeah. So,
Oh, that guy. Oh, that chick.
Yeah.
yeah.
Heard about that because basically, dudes, like over a tweet, it's getting ridiculous. Like they're getting really insane. Like you must follow us or we're going to destroy your career. Simple as that. What about I tell you, give them the wall treatment? Like ignore them. You basically have to get them and ignore them. But people don't have balls to do that. They're too afraid of what a guy, what a girl, what a dude or a chick shit with coffee that he bought from overpriced Starbucks. What he's going to do to you in real life? Guess what? Nothing. Air. I don't care if you have all the connections in the world. I'm not targeting for you. I'm targeting for my audience. And my audience is in the chat and with you guys here. And what met my and here's what excuse me. Okay, here's what my friend Mad Matt said. Yes, I'm calling you my fellow knight, Mad Matt. Man, I need to start a Patreon soon. So, anyways, don't even get started on Magical Girl Friendship Squad or the Cringe Squad, or like to call it, how to insult the Japanese and their works and still claim to be virtuous. It's not an insult to the Japanese. Not just the Japanese, but to like geekdom and cult geekdom as well, especially the North American side. Or a better name for this, Amy Schumer makes anime or how to stop worrying and love the soy. Dude, you need to get off the soy because soy sauce is kind of increases your don't want to say oxygen levels, and plus it tastes nasty.
I knew soy was evil the first time I ever tried soy milk. Never wanted to taste it again. Ugh.
Really big fan of soy either. I also hear that too much soy consumption can cause gynecomastia, aka man boobs, because of how much estrogen it has.
I mean, I'm a chunky boy myself, and I don't need any. I don't need that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty much the same way you are. Like, I'm a pretty big boy, but I prefer good old fashioned meat and potatoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although the workout helps every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually help out around the house with my grandparents and stuff like that. So that's pretty much how I get my exercise.
Exactly. Like people, they don't like going to the gym. They claim like they that fat shit, that pro fat stuff. That stuff's kind of unhealthy for you. They promote unhealthy.
I cringed seeing that.
Same here, dude. Don't they realize what fat does to people? Like it crushes your insides because when I feel overweight, I felt something crushing my insides. Like, because when you're free from that feeling, when you exercise constantly, and you start with dieting next time, you're somehow more liberated and more able to do more cool stuff. And plus, you don't have to feel it when you're feel the whole crushing when you're laying down and whatnot. Don't know how those people are able to enjoy that type of stuff, but I want to stop feeling it, man. Need to get back to the gym one day. Need to start fighting the wall.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that really ticks me off there, dude.
Yeah.
It's basically how like people like these SJWs these days always actually shoot like the beautiful people saying that you actually have to be fat and like ugly to actually be considered quote unquote beautiful in their eyes.
Yeah,
But,
no, thank
basically
you.
they're actually just body shaming like the normal people.
Yes,
It's
the
just
people. Yeah, due to the peep type. That's kind of funny because basically, ain't being slim and fit kind of lives longer, and plus it makes your not just your body feel good, but your mind and emotions feel well. You know how those people are mentally disabled, or not meant disabled, like unstable, like they have mental problems or something like that.
And then they try to use it as like some kind of representation spin, and I'm just
no.
like
I know what you're talking about.
I no. I look at like any of the comic book superheroes, or even Schwarzenegger, or most recently David Prowse, may he rest in peace. I look at those guys in their prime, and I'm like, I want to look like that.
Yes.
I don't want to be a marshmallow for the rest of my life.
Same here, dude. You know the anime Baki, the grappler?
Oh yeah. I actually watched that. Good
Never
anime.
watched it, but I've heard of it.
It's on Netflix.
Let's see you cook nothing or your brother.
Oh. Hold on. Hold on for a minute.
We're holding.
I thought you were cooking. You just cooking something. The check recently because leftovers. Yeah, again. So Jack book this time because I want to be cooking as of late. Okay, you guys hungry right now? Cousin Jack, yeah. Hey Jack, I can cook something as of late. Hey, I'm back now. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
And to further go along with what I was saying, like the one guy who I think his name was Ethan Suplee. He played the fat guy in Return. Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Like, that guy got super jacked a few years ago. I looked at that and I'm like, if he can do that, what the fuck am I doing?
Oh, damn. Oh, you meant that cool guy from Remember the Titans? That was a good film.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
and I double checked, and the name of the actress that was getting dragged because it was Karen Strassman. That was her name.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were basically on the subject of the whole fat acceptance is shit, and how that is just a complete opposite of what it should be.
Yeah. Because that isn't normal behavior, being unhealthy. Like seriously, like I don't want to talk crap about those, but that behavior kind of makes me want to throw up, man. Like acceptance and accept to be mentally unstable and able to be have a heart attack or a stroke. Dude, most those people when they die of heart disease and whatnot, they're mostly fat. High percentage of people are really obese and fat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole movement's disgusting, man.
Exactly, but basically, if they actually pretty much if you don't agree with them, then they'll actually just come right after you with a mob and just like you can actually they'll try to cancel any way, any shape, or any way anyhow to try to actually just quiet you.
And
Yeah.
they'll play
And most people like accept that fear for them, except for Black Sage D, which I respect. Like he like goes on at them or just ignores them or makes fun of them.
To quote a certain wrestler who's been memed to death, he's fat. Had to do it.
You're fat. Exactly. You're fat. You're fat, and you're fat. The end.
I'll make a blade.
Yeah. So what's up, Mackenzie Critiques? How's it going? Yeah. He's a really good YouTuber who does live streams and live reactions and whatnot. And yes, the mob rule. Let's not talking about the mob rule because basically I got into like scuffles with them and I just ignore them.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I just give them the wall treatment.
To the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I ever come across one of those, I pretty much just block them and just move on.
Yeah, exactly. And while we came with anti like fat people and whatnot from translations, but this is part of the discussion because these people don't like their customers. It seems like these are the people that come in the translation scene, dude. Why they're in translation if they don't like the medium they're translating?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It's about power, dude. It's about kicking us out.
Yeah.
Exactly. If I could actually give you guys like a personal example, remember DJ Kirkland with Viz Media?
DJ Kirkland? Okay, I don't remember that, but go on.
Basically, remember back in 2016 when he was actually saying that there was actually LGBT plus like suffrage in Japan, saying that basically we anime fans are actually oppressing the alphabet people in Japan, and basically how he wanted to actually get into the anime scene so he could actually censor anime through his point of view.
That alone
work.
He got in. I think he got in. But people got mad, but he got in anyway. That's my suggestion. That's my assumption.
It's Silicon Valley and Hollywood. You don't go in through merit. You fail by you succeed through failure.
Yeah, but people cannot handle failure well, it seems. But they want to like LTB. I don't give a crap about those people. Dude, I have no problems with them, but they try to change my life or by force or anything like that, then we have a problem.
Agreed.
Exactly.
That's the whole issue.
Yeah.
Just leave us alone. Enjoy your stuff.
Yeah.
And you enjoy yours.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You see, if I could actually add something here, guys, as long as you're actually harming anyone or yourselves, then basically we should actually be left alone to our vices,
Yeah. I mean, we're not doing drugs or we're not dealing with drugs or threatening ourselves, each other on the internet or bullying people. We're just having fun.
Or actually basically going after quote unquote children, saying that lolicons are actually considered, pedophilia, like, jailbait and stuff like that. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be first to say, I freaking hate loli anime. I think it's creepy as fuck. Yeah. But I'm not going to go censoring it to the level like what Australia did. Like, if people like it, big whoop. Like, I
got something to show you with you guys on here. So let me just share the link here.
Okay.
Press. It's in the chat.
I don't really have the chat pulled up, so.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let me find your YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's something relates to this topic right now. On Batman Beyond, where you meet. Yeah, let's not get to politics right now because those actual pedos need to die. are needed to be sent to 45 years in jail. But
Yeah,
I don't want to get into like politics, but with this video here, I got this whole video here for those who care.
Yeah. Oh, I remember this episode. Of
Yeah,
Batman
the
Beyond.
gamers, the most pressed group of all, gamers.
God.
The most oppressed group of all, and they want us to leave our own space and genderfy it.
By
Yeah,
the
it is.
people doing the genderfying.
Yeah. The most oppressed group of all, gamers.
Bull crap. Basically, they're just trying to. It's like we've been saying. They're trying to take over our our niche hobbies, our entertainment, just so they can push their little agendas and use it as pedestals, still boxes, bullhorns, anything to give them a voice and act like they're the oppressed people. When we're the ones who actually through blood, sweat, and tears actually created it in the first place for us to enjoy.
Exactly. Like they want to kick you out in order to have a voice. Like, dude, you don't start stuff like that, dude. And it's already creating rifts and problems. And they say we're the problem. We're the xenophobics and racists. Nigga, please, dude, stop that crap now. Because, like you said, I remember stories of anime fans on YouTube and internet being like, the only time they can watch animes through like TV or through like deep bootleg tapes from conventions, and people trade them in for and whatnot. And also how conventions were like these small circles, they hang out, chill, play some games, and just and whatnot.
Yeah, I didn't even get Cartoon Network until way later, so my access to anime was, whatever VHSs were in the Blockbuster. Like I believe my sister rented Sailor Moon once or twice, and then of course there was whatever was on Fox Kids and
Same here,
Kids
dude.
WB back in the day.
Same here. I always like watching anime, even though it's butchered now. It makes me cringe, most of it. But when I was a kid, I was into anime. I always prefer it than cartoons.
Yeah,
exactly.
You were getting something different. Like you weren't getting the same, stuff that you normally would with, like, say, the Flintstones or Dexter's, or not
or Ben and Stimpy. That gross out humor. Oh, I hate when they're using gross out humor.
The
shows.
SpongeBob lost me when it started relying too much on gross out humor. I couldn't take it.
Yeah, same here. It wasn't SpongeBob anymore.
They just actually destroyed Steven Hillenberg's creation
legacy
after he died.
Yeah.
And like I was telling Omega Katana, Alex, that basically anime was actually my escape because of all the child abuse I actually suffered as a kid.
I can understand why. It's you go into another world where you can have fun and just escape.
Yeah.
Like I'm autistic, high functioning.
Same here.
So I kind of tend to fall into the fictional worlds a lot more than other people, and I thankfully had a good, my family helps me a lot. I have of course had my share of bullies back in the day, not anymore, but it helped you get out of that. I would go into my own little world and just forget about the real life, just pretend you're hanging out with so and so and just having a good time. But
my escape was video games, to be honest. My parents were great people and whatnot. And let me just tell you, I prefer video games because, like, for my autistic, for a long time I couldn't talk, I don't like watching movies because I was really like hyperactive. So whenever I play Mario or Mario on Nintendo 64 or the PlayStation or the Dreamcast or PS2, I'm like addicted to the game. I only had like a couple games because I was poor. But here's the thing, I enjoyed what I got, and I learned to love it. Even with bad games like Mega Man X7 and Shadow Hedgehog, I loved those games when I was a kid. Now, I don't think so anymore. And with all these grief grifters putting like autistic in their bio or saying, "Oh, I'm autistic, I'm special. Good for you. I don't care. So I'm also autistic, and I don't want to be judged as an autistic dude."
Yeah.
Because it took me blood, sweat, and tears just to socialize with people. I did not like socializing when I was a kid. I hated it.
Same.
I just want to talk about video games and my hobbies. That's how I made friends.
I didn't even want to read the baby books. I went right to college level dinosaur books as my reading material because I was like, no, the dinosaurs are cooler. I love reading this. I don't want to read baby says goo goo gaga to learn, even if it is basic. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I was very particular with what I read.
Yeah. You wonder why I like Power Rangers when I was a kid?
Oh, Power
Because I love dinosaurs.
Heck yeah. I mean, Power Rangers was actually the kind of thing I got into back when I was a kid myself. I mean,
yeah.
I even actually got to meet five of the original Power. Well, I've actually met Jason, I met Billy, I met Zach, I met Aisha, and I actually met Adam as well through 2 Comic-Cons.
Yeah, nice, dude.
Yeah, Power Rangers was my gateway to tokusatsu, even if it was technically an Americanized version of the original show. You know, it got me into, it introduced me eventually to Godzilla, which I freaking love the shit out of.
Yeah.
And, the giant robots and the monsters, the admittedly cheesy but still enjoyable dialogue.
It was different.
Acting.
It was so different that adults didn't like it, but the kids loved it. Kind of like with Bakugan in 2008. When I was in high school, my peers despised the series as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Ripoff. To me, it was a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I didn't mind Bakugan. I never finished it. To me, it looked more like a Beyblade ripoff than a Yu-Gi-Oh! One. The only difference is just the monsters and the setup. But other than that, it's like, Beyblade, they had the tops, whereas here it's like Bakugan, they're basically little figurines.
Yeah, those cool little figurines. And here's what Mad Matt said. I just put Metalhead, Mecha Pilot, and speaking of Mecha Pilot, back in the day, I used to put Dream Job, Earth Federation Pilot.
Yeah.
Yes, I was deep into Gundam then, and still am.
Me, I try to make it a bit of a mix where there's I'm saying stuff that is true, but at the same time I'm rolling with it. I'm not saying take me seriously.
No. Nope. And here's what Mackenzie Critique said. I was like the ultimate neutral kid. Wasn't cool enough to be with the cool kids and not nerdy enough to be with that group. I was kind of good terms with both the bullies and the geeks. You're just like the guy who just wants to mind his own business and just like roll with the punches. I have homework to do. Leave me alone. I don't want to be in jail.
You're basically the academic kid version of the mountain man who's just minding his own business.
Yeah.
Let the suburbanites and the city folk have their fun.
Yeah. Because one thing, can I change the topic real quick? You know that one high school cliches that Hollywood loves to do, which I cannot stand?
Ugh.
They still do all that prep and geeks and stuff and have this unrealistic version of high school life. Dude, high schoolers don't act like 20-year-olds, okay?
It's a bit of a stereotype, even in
exactly
in the review community.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Like
the closest thing to high school life is basically, do you know those 16 Candles or the Breakfast Club? That's the closest thing you're going to get to actual high school. Even though the people are 20-year-olds, but it's the closest thing you're going to get to a high school story of a high schooler. And that's outdated. But really, with high school movies and whatnot, I cannot connect with them.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why I could not. It's part of the reason why I did not like Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah,
because I'm in the minority, but I fucking hate high school Spider-Man. Like, it's boring, it's uninteresting. I got into Spider-Man through the cartoon back in the 90s when he was already an adult. Like he
Yeah.
he had a job and everything. And
Yeah.
me, a little 7 or 8-year-old me, it's like I freaking loved that version of Spider-Man.
That was the
Because he's
best
a
version of
freaking-
Spider-Man, in my opinion, though. Still is.
definitely.
And you know the fun part about it is that Spider-Man couldn't punch people, or they couldn't show guns or dead bodies.
I thought
So what
that
they
was
did,
so freaking funny and yet dumb at the same time.
but they actually managed to make it work due to its writing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Still-
writing may have its blunders here and there and corniness, but overall, I can watch that and
Yeah.
be like, yeah, it's 8, yeah, it's grown a couple of liver spots, but you know what? I can watch that and still have fun with it, as opposed to the drivel that comes across these days.
Yeah. The only TV I watch is basically Bob Ross.
The painting.
Yes, Bob Ross. You wonder why? Not just his voice, but also how he paints. Those scenery and whatnot kind of makes me calm. It kind of like relaxes me when I watch Bob Ross.
It's basically the TV version of those nature sound CDs.
Yeah, or on videos on YouTube, which I love to do. It's a hobby of mine now.
Yeah, I stopped watching TV when everything like Toonami
Died.
when they brought it back.
Wasn't
I
the same.
hated it, but it got down the tubes because they started playing. One, because the schedule was shit, and I just couldn't stay up so late anymore. I got tired of it.
Yeah.
I would end up just browsing through the internet just to buy the time, and they would be showing shows that I either didn't have interest in or just felt like the same thing after another.
Yeah.
And
Shonen
then,
Jump stuff.
Yeah, and Shonen Jump stuff. Like, I pretty much like stopped watching a lot of it. Like Naruto Shippuden, it just plods along and along.
Yeah.
I'm like, get to the point already. And then you have the other stuff like the Animal Planets and Discoveries. Once they started, the same thing with Cartoon Network. Once Cartoon Network just started showing nothing but reruns of Johnny Test, Discovery Channel with or History Channel with the ancient aliens instead of everything else.
Yeah.
I was just like tuned out of it. Like, what's the point of watch of any of this? Because I'm not seeing anything that interests me anymore.
Yeah, it's dated right now. Cable's dated. Got my Fire Stick, and I watched the most TV in years, and I'll mostly put it on for Bob Ross reruns.
Well, basically, all I gotta say is I got a Roku, and I'm actually really happy with it. I mean, I can. All I can do is just hop on my Roku, and just choose out which channel I want to watch, and just watch whatever I want. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Toonami from back before their first shutdown, and even to an extent, Anna Monday on the Sci-Fi Channel.
I remember that. that. Can I tell you a story about that on Anna Monday? I remember watching like these niche shows called with Monster, Gurren Lagann. Okay, what's that? Straight Jacket, Macross Plus.
I remember Macross Plus. I didn't get it at the time, but since I'm like, I just finished the original one, so I do intend to get to that one next.
Gundam 00. Man, those some good times, man.
The Gundam 00. That was the one that finally got me on board with it. Like, I tried getting into Gundam like multiple times over the childhood. Like, I'd see the model kits in like the Japanese area in Epcot and be like, holy shit, what is this? I've never seen anything like this. And then it's like, then I got a couple of little models from Gundam Wing that my neighbor had, but I never really got into the shows, at least not yet. I tried with Endless Waltz.
Got lost. You have to watch the original Wing.
I don't know if you might have actually seen this, but I think Omega Katana actually already seen it before, but I want to show this to you guys.
Yeah. I can't see your video, dude.
Oh, hold on.
The original Wing Gundam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really hate Endless Waltz. I understood the story, but I just thought the writing was dumb. But then eventually, a couple of years later, I stumbled onto this one guy on YouTube. He's no longer active anymore. He called himself the anime overviewer, and he reviewed a bunch of Gundam stuff. And one that he mentioned what a lot because it was the most recent one was Double O. So when I found out Anna Monday was coming back, because for the time, and Double O was on, I was like, holy shit, I want to watch this, and I loved it. That was like my first true gateway into it. And next to Build Fighters, that was the one that also got me into Gunpla.
Yeah, I love Build Fighters the first season though.
And Monster, that was a great one as well. I'm still pissed at Viz Media for never releasing the full series on DVD and Blu-ray because their excuse was no one bought the individual volumes. Well, of course not. You put one little measly disc in a box the size that could hold an entire season worth.
Wow, rip up people and whatnot. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Like I got some Toonami promos for those who want to watch it for like nostalgia purposes. Here, that's why I'm like a bit silent. But I was hearing you and whatnot. But kind of cool seeing those promos. It's like you're interacting with fans on overseas on Twitter and whatnot, and they grew up on Spacetoon, which is it's a kids channel on TV in the Middle East. To them, it's like their Toonami because they show mostly anime uncut or barely censored on Spacetoon back in the day. Don't know about it now, but they used to show like Case Closed and all these shows like Hunter x Hunter. That's how I found out about Hunter x Hunter because it's like kids who liked it watching it through Spacetoon, and he got some of the merc. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they do come out with more episodes of Hunter x Hunter because basically they kind of left it off on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, because basically the mangakas basically like the series takes forever, dude. It's still on hiatus.
It's one of those where like Berserk, like
yes.
I don't know if I even want to, I don't know whether or not to go into it or not because if it's never gonna end, then what's actually end and what's the point? It's like I have that. Like I started reading Berserk about last year. I didn't get very far. I'm like somewhere in the middle of the Golden Age arc, but I loved what I read. But I'm never going to watch the anime because I know none of the animes will ever be complete. And the most recent ones look like shit with that god-awful CGI animation.
Dude, we don't do CGI in anime. I hate CGI in anime.
Ugh.
Most modern anime just tanked with CGI. You know the anime Zoids on Toonami back in the day, right?
Zoids, yes.
Yeah.
Those Zoids are have CGI in them, and they're better animated than the stuff we got today. How embarrassing is that?
You now just mention it, you're right. Like it's not even a contest. I've got the new Kobotukiya Berserk Fury kit sitting in my shelf waiting to be built. Sorry, buddy. Still need to finish the Thunderbolt one first. But yeah, I can look at that and be like, yeah, that still look good.
Yeah, I'm watching the Zoid promo right now on Toonami.
I remember they had like Peter Cullen do all the voiceovers for the commercials back in the day.
Yeah, and sad thing is, did you actually hear about Kirby Morrow passing away?
Yes, Cyclops.
Yeah, and from Inuyasha.
Yeah.
I knew of him from X-Men Evolution. And,
same here, dude.
I loved X-Men Evolution.
He's the best. That was the best X-Men series. I love that one.
I did grow up with the original show, but I was never able to watch it from beginning to end because, Saturday mornings and just every other means. But Evolution was the one that when it came to, depending on age, it was the one where it's like, okay, I'm going to watch this and see it through to the end. And and I watched it all the way. I followed it, and they did the whole bit with the Apocalypse, and just I loved that one. I mean, it was clearly meant to be merchandise for the movies at the time, but it was still very good merchandise. That's what I respect about both, not just the Japanese cartoons today, but the Western cartoons of yesterday. So that
Yeah.
even though they were clearly meant to be a glorified commercial, they still had heart put into them.
Yeah. You know, the X-23, she originated from Evolution.
Really.
Yes. That's how she first started.
Another case of start did not come from the comic, but started from there. That's
Yeah.
basically what happened with Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Man,
Except
because
except I want to see more of X-23 as opposed to Harley Quinn. I'm so sick of her.
yeah, she's been overused too much. And man, these Toonami promos are freaking badass, man. They like back in the day, pre-90s Toonami or so, 2000s Toonami. It's like show you news shows, variety of shows, which are cool, which I loved. Dude, I love seeing Prince of Tennis, yes, on TV back in the day, and Mare as well.
And then when you stayed up long enough and Adult Swim came on, it was
Full
like,
Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist, Bleach, Wolf's Rain. I have to tell you, when I stayed up later than I expected, and Adult Swim came on,
Mhm.
it was like another dimension opened up. Because before this, I had been used to the much more kiddie forms of anime where everything was
Yeah.
a little. I basically grew up on Pokemon and Metabots and whatnot.
Same here,
So I
yeah.
wasn't exposed to the darker stuff. So
Yeah.
in comes Full Metal and the Bleach and Wolf's Rain with the blood and the bad language and freaking tit jokes and everything. I was actually at first repulsed because it was like completely new to me. Like, it's like it's one of those you don't like change kind of things. But in this
Yeah.
case, but then after a while, watching people recommended Bleach to me, so I stayed up for that, and then I saw the other shows like Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, and I fell in love with that. And I was like, this shit is awesome. It
Yeah.
isn't all kids stuff. Some of this is pretty adult.
Yup.
Yeah, and one particular anime that I still hold close to my heart is I've actually done a review on it, but I still call it like my holy grail anime. That will always be Outlaw Star.
I need
Basically,
to watch that.
I got it on
Oh,
DVD, bro.
man.
Dude, I need to
Oh,
get Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex on DVD, dude.
I
Need to-
got the Bandai DVD sets for both
Cheap.
seasons and the movie.
Yeah. But bro, Lane, that's another good one. Even though that's not on TV, but seriously, I just love that series. It's even though it's with those really niche art house types of shows, but come on, Lane is awesome.
Hell, even the ones that would be considered kid shows were pretty dark, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters.
Yeah, season 1.
yeah, yeah. Until Fortress decided to actually tone it down for
Card
the
game
kiddie
merchandise.
audiences.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Started off as being the Yugi and the Pharaoh kind of basically using the Shadow Realm to kill
Yeah.
evil people, like
Yeah.
basically going around as a game master version of Ghost Rider. But
Yeah.
because the Duel Monsters aspect ended up being so popular with kids, they told the creator, dude, we need to emphasize the Duel Monsters. So from that point, he kind of like he unfortunately had to toss up part of his original plan, but he tried to mix it
Mix it
best he
up.
could with the Duel Monster stuff.
Yeah. But it came out pretty good. I like the Yu-Gi-Oh series still.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I admit, I still, even though there's a lot of stupid shit that was changed with it, I did like the English dub. I still have fond memories of it.
Same here.
But
Dude, I like Eric Stewart and Dan Green as Yugi and Kaiba still to this day.
even with, it's one of those cases where it's like it's translation or localization done in a
Right.
way where I don't feel insulted by it.
Yeah, they had fun with it.
Like you could look at the lines in the most recent one, Dark Side Dimensions, where Kaiba is going on about how he perfectly recreated the Pharaoh down to his perfectly coiffed hair, and then he crushes the water bottle he was drinking up and says, "Fire the guy who made it. It's too weak." It's like, yeah, it's different, but it still feels like him.
Yeah.
So even with the silly stuff, like they took like acts like digitally axing away the guns from people's hands, it's like I can still appreciate the original Yu-Gi-Oh, the English dub, because at least I felt like even despite everything sent against it, there was still enough that I could still appreciate, as opposed to
Yeah.
now where it's like they no longer have that excuse,
Yeah.
and yet they keep trying to come up with ways that are directly harmful, as opposed to back then where it was just they were basically trying not to get in trouble with the soccer moms, more or less.
Yeah.
Now it's just appeal as much to anyone left of Mao as possible.
Yeah. But Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, dude. I haven't watched that one, but I have the first Ghost in the Shell movie.
I personally am more partial to Standalone than I am the movie, but both of them are pretty good on their own way.
Yeah. I need to get the battle. I got the movie Battle Angel Alita, and now we're talking about cyberpunk anime and whatnot. But
Oh, we need
come
more
on,
cyberpunk
Alita?
anime.
Yeah,
Personal
exactly.
opinion.
Same here. I need more science fantasy anime, like
definitely.
Old Toms or Battle Angel Alita and whatnot, or Star Wars like shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot. Oh, I just had a light bulb. The last one that I remember watching that probably gave me at least the most Star Wars like feel in the good way was Space Battleship Yamato 2199, the new one.
I need to get back.
Not the old one, the remake. I watched.
Yes,
that.
I saw the remake and I liked it. I can continue.
I loved it. Like,
yeah,
good characters, good music, great action. I was satisfied with it.
Yeah,
I basically got something that I have not gotten in a long time, especially with, well, Disney Wars and all.
Yeah, but let me just tell you something. There's like this one, the whole anime, it was not many people slept on it, but there was this anime called Majestic Prince. It's basically like Super Sentai Gone Gundam, but they're fighting aliens instead of like evil beings, but other humans. But still, dude, I still had like moments of that final episode, bro. That gave me like I was so surprised, like in a good way. I was hooked from like the series from beginning to end, and I got the DVDs to this very day. I got the full series.
Majestic Prince. Huh.
Let me just type it up on YouTube for an example why you like it.
Yeah, I found it. Well, I'm seeing some cool looking stuff.
And that's one of the few animes that actually have good CGI when it came to fight scenes and whatnot.
Yeah. Like, I'm one of my biggest pet peeves these days when it comes to CG is like there's that new Godzilla anime coming up called Singular Point for Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, what I liked at first was they're clearly going for a much more, traditional animation when it came to the characters.
Yeah.
Like, I'll still give it a chance, but I was praying to God the monsters would be 2D, not 3D.
Yeah.
Much to my disappointment, they're 3D, but it looks more my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Same
here.
At least the characters, the human characters at least,
yeah.
Don't look flat and lifeless.
Yeah.
And the last attempt at a Godzilla anime was the 3 movies.
Oh, garbage.
I tried to like them. Even if they didn't win me with the CG, at least give me good characters and a good story to go along with it, and maybe some half decent action. Didn't get any of it, and what good ideas may be worth in there are just who cares? The movies are boring anyway.
Yeah.
Like you have this one dipshit who you don't like, and by the end of the trilogy, he goes and kills himself.
Yeah.
And Godzilla, who's basically the most disappointing thing of all, because you did all right with the first movie, at least for me anyway. But then the second and third, the second was basically a quasi redo of the first one, and where they, despite marketing both Mecha Godzilla and Ghidorah with full body figurines, they don't even use them.
Wow.
And Godzilla's just standing in place for all for both of them, and it's like you give them all this cool shit, but you didn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
So it's like, in a way, I kind of appreciate the MonsterVerse movies, because even though they're not the best movies in the world, At least
Yeah.
I could watch the action and have fun with them.
Yeah. Hey, you heard of Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy? Because Pluto by Usawa. It's pretty interesting how they did. It's like a detective show instead of an action adventure show of the original Astro Boy. Cannot wait for that one.
Never really gotten to Astro Boy, but yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I still need to get my hands on Big O though. I mean that's
Same here,
actually
dude. Hard to get.
I mean it's been a while since I last watched that anime, and I still enjoy it. I mean, basically, it's actually like a really cool show, and basically I got into it when I was a kid, and it's been a while since I last watched it. And
Big O was very cool to watch. I liked how they took that noir style that Batman did.
Yeah.
But just had with mechs in it.
Yeah. I
didn't like the ending though. I didn't like how pretty much their entire world gets deleted and restarted, and made pretty much everything work. Like, hey, all these characters you like, they're gone now.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, but other than that, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, seinen manga. Man, we need more seinen manga adaptations, dude. Because we're getting tired of the grown shonen stuff. And trust me, I do not like Demon Slayer. I prefer Rurouni Kenshin.
I don't mind Demon Slayer, but it reminded me way too much of Bleach.
Yeah.
Like,
that's one of the reasons why I'm not impressed with it, because Bleach does the sword stuff better.
I mean, I found it kind of hilarious how Johnny Young Bosch, he played Ichigo in Bleach, but then you go into Demon Slayer and he's the Byakuya in this version. So I found that to be kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was like it's good, but it's not that good. It's pretty run of the mill,
boring stuff. Fire Force, My Hero Academia, same old.
I like Fire Force.
Yeah, Fire Force is pretty good, but I prefer Soul Eater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yesterday I was actually watching this like really cool graphic anime called Akudama Drive on Hulu. I mean, I'm almost finished with it, but I just got hooked right after the first episode. I mean, it was just such a good.
Is that the guy trying to? Is that the guy who created like Danganronpa?
I have no idea, because basically I just started watching it. It's kind of like dystopian, because basically they're actually like these types of people that actually have like different types of names, and like they'll actually have like sentences for like what they've actually done.
Yeah.
And they all go by code names. And it's actually pretty graphic and violent. It's just it is absolutely
like the
awesome.
90s, like the 90s stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, and basically it's all cyberpunk too.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the few criticisms I have with modern anime. Everything just looks too shiny.
Yeah.
Like I look at like I watched New Getter Robo. I mean, it's not that old, but it's much more recent, like 2009 era recent, and they tried their best to make it look like something from back then.
Yeah.
So I gotta respect them for it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of obscure stuff, that's you're mentioning stuff. Anyone heard of Recreators?
Yes.
Oh, I still want to see that.
It was promising, but it died in the end. I hate that feeling. It had promising, it had a promising premise. The characters look cool. The concept is interesting, but it goes down the drain at the end.
I personally enjoyed the majority of it, but I wouldn't mind seeing another attempt at it. Yeah. But yeah. I personally didn't get that feeling that you're getting, but I know it's one of those where it may hold you or it may not.
Yeah,
I can understand.
Yeah,
I actually heard that the creator of Black Lagoon was actually one of the people that was actually responsible for Recreators.
Yeah,
really?
Ray Hiro.
I tried to watch Black Black. Oh no,
Black
I'm
Lagoon?
thinking Black Clover. Excuse me.
Oh, Black Lagoon is awesome. I mean, basically, it is hands down just totally mwah. It
I
is like
want-
one of
I
the
want-
most graphic anime possible.
Oh, I want Black Lagoon to be finished in its anime form, like now. Like
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure if the manga's still ongoing or if they finished it.
Yeah, it's
but
still going, man. It
Hiatus.
I don't know what's going on with Ray Hero and stuff like that because
Black Lagoon was freaking awesome. Like
Yeah.
I want another season.
Yeah,
Like-
let me tell you something with Black Clover. Don't know why that series is popular, but I prefer it than My Hero Academia. Hang me on that, but they both suck.
I tried to watch Clover and it lost me with its first couple of episodes because it
Yeah.
felt like the same shit, different day.
Exactly.
yeah, same here, man. Besides, I just kind of zoned out after a while. I just
Yeah.
consider it like a bit of an overrated anime, but in my
Yeah.
personal opinion.
I
Yeah,
don't know
I-
why people get into like shonen still. There's better stuff than shonen,
Yeah, like I enjoyed.
but they don't want to get. Yeah.
I
Can I
enjoyed
say one?
aspects of. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I do not. I want to keep. Before you continue, let me just say people just need to get out of the shonen and explore new ideas. But dudes like these soft people, they don't want to get out of their comfort zones because everything offends them these days. Even their own parents and family doesn't agree with them. They still get offended by it, and to the point they're like really stagnant on shonen jump shows, like they can represent all anime. And I'm like, dude. Check out all this stuff here. It's better than the shonen stuff. It's better than Dragon Ball. It's better than Naruto, etc.
Exactly.
I liken Shonen Jump to Disney because it's like everywhere.
Yeah,
Basically, I actually like to keep an open mind when it comes to watching anime myself. I mean, I have different tastes. I mean,
yeah,
I pretty much prefer actually, keeping an open mind.
yeah,
This is how I've actually become a connoisseur of anime, and I
You-
really don't like how people actually throw around the word weeb a lot. I mean, to me, that's like throwing the N word around, freaking racially insulting someone, like of a person of color, like a black person per se. And I'm actually
Yeah.
quarter African American myself, and I still find offense to that word. Basically, I prefer the term otaku over anime.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
over weeb.
yeah. Weeb is like the Japanese version of the word otaku when it comes to insult wise. The Western, it's like weeb is like the Western version of that the derogatory meaning.
Yeah, like in Japan, they don't
Otaku
like,
is weeb.
they don't like otakus very much, from what I understand.
Yeah. Kind of like, it's like that saying, like, otaku over there is like weeb, and like weeb is like that same feeling, but in a different format.
Mm.
Like, it's like those weebs, man. Ugh.
Pure
I'm an
cringe.
anime fan, no offense, but really lowly stuff really creeps me out, but I'm not complaining. It's for that sort of people. Just let me go with my robots, okay? I'm fine.
Yep, give me my robots and dinosaurs and giant monsters and
Yeah.
and great swords, and we're happy.
Yeah. Yep. Anybody want to say anything else in the chat?
You mentioned My Hero. It's like I liked aspects of My Hero, but I kind of like stopped watching it. Just kind of got a little bored of it. I haven't really
Personally,
kept up
okay.
with it.
Yeah. Personally, dude, I checked out My Hero and I hated it. Like, seriously, it's been the same old thing, but with a superhero skin.
It had some good ideas, like
Yeah.
the whole hero killer bit, but I haven't really been motivated to continue it for a while.
Yeah. I'm surprised that the My Hero world did not turn into, like, Supreme, like Watchmen or Squadron Supreme.
where all the villains pretty much turned bad or what?
The heroes turned became like this took like dictators and whatnot. and like they like went insane and whatnot due to their over righteousness. I'm surprised they didn't go. They didn't like. I know they're trying to go reach to like the golden age of superheroes and whatnot, MCU style, but in real life, the My Hero world would have been like the world of X-Men.
I look at My Hero and I when I look at I watched The Boys recently on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah,
I looked at that and I was like, that this is basically what the world of My Hero Academia and One Punch Man, just except this came first
yeah,
and is a lot more violent
and
and
dark.
graphic.
Yeah,
And I usually prefer watching like shorter anime because it's actually much more easier to watch over
yeah,
like shonen because basically, it kind of gets stale after a while. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, give me a shorter anime, like about maybe like 12,
26
24,
episodes?
26 episodes,
yeah,
and I'll just actually move on to the next one.
yeah.
I mean, that's what makes anime more interesting for people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
create something short and just, give the fans what they want, and then just, create something else.
Yeah, that kind of goes in, like with at least with Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh at least knew when to end.
yeah.
But then I look at Naruto. Then I look at the One Punch Man, not One Punch Man, One
Naruto?
Piece, One Piece, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter. It's like they don't know when to call it quits.
Yeah. Man, even Devilman had an ending, man, and that was shonen back in the day. That had an ending, and it was like 5 volumes long.
So it's like it's basically it's like I saw what happened to Game of Thrones, and I'm like, if the work is not going to be finished, if ever, why be invested? Because I'm in limbo at this point. And it's just so it's like I love this, I enjoy this, but it's tired and it needs an end point because like if you can't just have a beginning, middle, and no ending because then you leave it hanging.
We need closure for stuff. I mean, basically, I prefer actually having closure with something.
Yeah.
Like, if a good show actually gets canceled with no closure whatsoever, basically, what's the point of actually having that show? What's the point of having that show anyway?
Like Pokemon is still going on, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore because he's never going to become a Pokemon master at this rate. He's just hobbling along.
Yeah. Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, you know those spin-offs that came afterwards? At least those have endings as well.
They do. I mean, I kind of blame 4Kids for being fucking idiots, which caused them not to finish all of it. Like GX, they got in trouble.
5Ds.
GX, they got in trouble with some kind of licensing thing where they weren't supposed to show episodes when they should have, and so they ended up not dubbing the final season. And the ratings fell to such a bad extent in 5Ds that they ended up chopping up season 3 in half. And so it was a discombobulated mess.
Yeah. So I prefer the Japanese dubs of 5Ds, to be honest. But at least they showed that in unlike Harmony Gold with Robotech. Screw that company, man.
Harmony Gold doesn't just leave it enough alone with when it comes to Macross. They go after Battletech just for the simple fact that it just happens to have one part of the name being similar.
Yeah, like really, dude. Really, that company needs to go.
Like,
I'd rather have Funimation at this point take over the Robotech Macross license. King me people, but I prefer them than Harmony Gold. But don't get me wrong, Robotech got me into Macross, and the Macross saga is fun. I give them that. But I do not like Harmony Gold as a whole.
Yeah, they're one of those where they go too overboard.
Yeah. And they're not doing anything with the license these days.
I hate companies that do that, where they sit on a license, wrap it in red tape, and it just sits there. Like I have this problem with Godzilla 1985, which was basically the English version of '84. They had like Raymond Burr come back and everything, and to this day, it still has not gotten an official DVD Blu-ray release. The original Japanese and international English version got a release, but 85 still hasn't because it's still wrapped in all this copyright nonsense. Like where it just they won't move it because you think you've removed one, but then another wrap is still there, and it's like fuck, and it just keeps on going and going. So
another example like that is what about Funimation actually doing the same thing to interspecies reviewers? They actually deemed it like too like spicy out of their norms, so they actually had to freaking cut ties with that and just like set it off to the side and put red tape over it and just like saying it's not a part of our norms. So basically, we just actually want to freaking get rid of it, And they actually bought the licensing for it too, and they've been sitting on that for like God only knows how long.
But a company took it over. A separate company took it over.
I know. Critical mass. I mean, basically, thank God for those guys there because basically they're going to give the fans what they want. I mean, basically, when we AniTubers actually do this kind of stuff, like we actually do like our content for the fans because basically, without the fans, we wouldn't actually be as successful.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I can understand why you would still need copyright because if you don't, then you pretty much have 50 subpar versions of another thing. Like, for example, Tolkien, the estate has like a firm grip on the Lord of the Rings. So they're very persnickety with who handles it. But at the other end, you got like the examples you've mentioned and what I've mentioned, where it's like it's just wrapped up in too many other things, and it's like it can't go anywhere and be enjoyed. So that's kind of like the sides of the coin of it in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Any other topics you want to discuss? Like from other things, like let's say with customer service and I said this before with customer service, like with Taco Bell or McDonald's, if you act rude to your customers, you're going to get written up. And then next time you're going to get a talk with your boss, and then you're going to get fired if you keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically,
when all these people, yeah, can I continue here? With all these people, like they're like these translators and whatnot, claiming they're doing God's work for the anime community. No, they're not, man. If that's like being a coup in the whole community.
Yeah,
all these corrupt people like taking over the whole fun and the translation due to like you want to represent your life views, dude. We're not kids, dude.
Yeah, like you may have had the excuse of trying to not get in trouble by the
soccer moms.
Yeah, those people back then, but you don't have that excuse anymore. And even then, you're the localizers and translators, you're a hired hand at best. You're not there to take someone's work and make it your own.
Nope.
And we largely don't want that anymore for good reason.
Yeah. And they wanted to go back because they want to they don't like certain stuff or they don't like it at all, like they claim to be. Yeah. They don't like the content they translate. Dude, if you want to translate stuff, you got to be into the stuff you're translating.
Yeah. And even if you don't like it, at the very least, still satisfy the customer.
Yeah. Satisfy the customer and whatnot. Exactly.
If you can't be bothered to do that, then congratulations, you failed at business.
Yeah. That's why they don't like capitalism. Because they suck at business. Because they want to do stuff for themselves. But as a business, you're supposed to target the niche or your audience. That's the true reason they don't like capitalism. Because the whole rule is you have to serve customers in order to do well in society.
It's why Splinter Cell went down the tubes, because they started turning it into a generic third-person shooter instead of making it Splinter Cell.
Stealth games. I actually like Conviction, believe it or not. I was lost, but I liked what I got. But I like the old school Splinter Cell from 1. How they use stealth and whatnot, like Metal Gear, but more grounded in reality and easier to play than Metal Gear. Sorry, not Metal Slug.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot of games and anime that kind of tend to blend in, like just earlier I confused Black Lagoon with Black Clover because there's so many titles with
Yeah.
freaking black in the name,
Yeah.
and it gets lost after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also another thing that really freaking irritated me was
Mhm.
like the whole so-called quote unquote black representation within anime, like the Guardian. I know it's actually pretty much a drag on that one, but I freaking I saw that actually just get roasted with so many downvotes. I mean, basically, I even downvoted it myself, but that's just me saying it. But you see,
Yeah.
nobody actually ever takes like anime seriously. I mean, it's actually a Japanese brand that actually came from Japan and brought to the West for us to enjoy.
Precisely. I mean, unless there's a valid reason for it, like in Fire Force, where
Fire Force or Black Lagoon, Afro
Yeah.
Samurai, Macross, the OG Macross with
Yeah. unless there's a valid reason for it, don't expect it, because it wasn't made for us originally. And
No.
even then, if you want representation, be the change you want to be. Like, look at Static Shock. I love that show because it tried to be its own thing without pandering. And like for instance, there was that new Power Rangers movie, the 2017 one.
Ugh.
Like, I
Disappointment.
liked it, and it had a character that was autistic, like I am, but I didn't feel too pandered to, because at least I felt like he was an actual character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't need a character to be Jewish. I don't need a character to be autistic like I am. Just all I care about is a good movie. That's all I can care about.
Exactly. Give us good quality content, and don't freaking put in all this like gender identity politics. Don't push like real world politics. Don't push freaking LGBT plus representation into everything, and just try to cram it down our throats and into our faces. Just actually sort of like that's how the freaking sequel trilogy of Star Wars actually went down the drain.
Dude, the Last Jedi, worst movie of all time.
You know
One of the worst Star Wars movies.
You know what really
got
sucks?
me pissed off. Okay, you can go.
Oh, sorry. You know what really sucks? The expanded universe has all these characters from different backgrounds, and yet they felt the need to just wipe away, and yet they pillage from it while pretending it doesn't exist. Like, Rose is your first Asian character, except for the fact we already had it with Jan Ors in Dark Forces, and
like Dark Forces, the game.
Yep, and in the rest of the Jedi Knight games. And what do? They took that character and basically made her a short stacked British white woman in Rogue One. They basically just took Jan and Kyle Katarn and make diet versions of them.
Yeah.
And I hated that. And and then they brought Thrawn back, and it's like it's not the same Thrawn because he's just a blue version, subpar version with the threat level of Team Rocket. I don't care about him.
Yeah, but the real Thrawn is a threat. They have to take him down because he's like the one after the Emperor. Didn't they already did the one with the Emperor in the original extended universe with Luke Skywalker ending him?
Yeah, Dark Forces, which has a divisive reputation.
Yeah.
But I'd rather read that because at least I can, even though it has a lot of issues, I can at least see that and see the poetry in motion regarding the fall of, the final death nail for Palpatine, as opposed to this where they just brought him back with no explanation whatsoever, that they had to retcon and re-retcon all over again in a novel.
It's a mess. The sequel trilogy is a freaking mess. What they did, probably going to do in a future episode of Mandalorian or something like that, is they're going to say this for once, but please bookmark this, people. They're going to recon the sequel trilogy to an alternative timeline and bring back the extended universe through the Maldorian. or their own future plans due to the Maldorian. I know, Alex, you despise Disney Wars as much as I do, but Matt, I will not be surprised if they actually did. Disney did that.
If they did, they need to. If they do, they need to bring back every writer they had and continue from where they left off. Because I do not trust Dave Filoni. I do not trust any Claudia Brack or any of the other Tumblr amateurs that they got from there. I don't trust them handling these characters.
Yeah.
And I don't trust Kathleen Kennedy either, because basically
No.
she's the one who practically ruined Star Wars because of her feminist agendas. You know?
Yeah. But
I mean,
dude, let me just let me say this: I can be a better writer for Star Wars. I don't care it's an extended alternative universe of Star Wars, but George Lucas, please let me do it. I'll make you proud.
Yeah, George Lucas really got screwed.
Yeah. And people bugged him for the prequels, but dude, the prequels are actually quite good.
Their execution was off, but at least the stories buried within is very good.
Yeah.
Like, even Jeremy Johns realized, like he watched Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then when he thought of Star Wars, it was like he got it. Like the story of Anakin Skywalker is Dracula, basically.
Yeah.
This great warrior who, fell in love, but then he lost her and just snapped and became the right hand of the devil, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mandalorian, like, if they somehow find a way to like redo everything back to how it was, I'll probably forgive it. But from what I've seen so far, it's just same old shit.
Yeah.
Just stuff ripped ganked from the EU with no understanding of how it worked or why we liked it. And the fact that Ahsoka is still there. Like every time I see Ahsoka is
Ain't she supposed to be old by that timeline range?
She should be. The fact that she's still there is just weird. They got like Rosario Dawson to play her and all that, but the thing that annoys me is that I get the sneaking suspicion they're trying to do to us with Ahsoka like what they tried to do with Rey. They tried to replace Luke with Rey. It didn't work. Everyone rejected her as a low tier fan fiction character. But because people like Ahsoka, it's like, they know fans will fall for it. And from what I've heard, there's no mention of Luke Skywalker anywhere.
Yeah, Rey's a failure, big time.
And the fact that
basically,
go ahead.
We keep calling Rey freaking a Mary Sue, and yet basically they're saying that's actually just a wrong term to use. And basically, what the hell are we supposed to call her though?
Perfection,
I mean, she is a Mary Sue.
A god? A goddess is some crap.
Hell, they try to lump Anakin in as a Mary Sue,
fail.
Which he isn't. I mean, Critical Drinker even broke it down, and I agree with him. Anakin is far from an intro Mary Sue. If anything, he's an anti-Sue. He's incredibly conceited, arrogant, brash beyond belief, and makes incredibly stupid decisions. Oh, and he became Darth Vader.
Yeah.
You don't fail any lower than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, we need to go back to Star Wars when it was good again. When everyone was cheering for the original movies, everyone was like cheering, crying, shocked. Those moments. I wish we want to go back to them, man.
Like, I can still watch the old ones, even the recuts, and be like, that's Star Wars. I know what this is. Those movies are memorable.
Exactly.
Even the parts that I wish were done differently. Like I wish Endor was instead Kashyyyk instead because of the Wookiees.
Yeah.
But I can still watch it and be like, I feel like I'm home again. But then you look at these movies and they're just, with a few exceptions, they're entirely unmemorable, and the ones that are either for minute reasons or not very flattering ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, they also try to hold up Dave Filoni as the great standard, because George Lucas oversaw him. Yeah, just because George Lucas oversaw the Clone Wars doesn't mean everything went with under his authority. I mean, hello, 2 words, Crystal Star. Not even the most ardent EU fans like that story.
Yeah.
So not everything that goes through Lucas ends up being, good by default.
Yeah.
And
Imagine what they did that to Gundam. Despite Gundam being leftist at times and its whole anti-war, if it managed to put in like SJW stuff, it wouldn't work. Because basically, one, and due to like their whole ideology will not mesh well with robots and the whole setting of the whole the war setting and anti-war setting, especially with the UC. And two, the pilot's too fat to like manage to like do basic military functions, let alone being in the condition for space.
no, I mean, at least with Get a Robo, you can kind of roll your eyes and leave it alone because at least there it's meant to be funny.
Yeah,
as opposed to
real cool.
Yeah, I mean it's apples and oranges. Get a Robo and Super Robots, they're meant to be, like all like super ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then you have Gundam, which is basically real world, not real world, real robot, where things are much more grounded in reality.
Yeah.
To an extent, at least.
Yeah. Oh, here's what Mad Matt said. Dude, Gundam may be liberal in its anti-war stance, but it's quite ways far from the leftist whatsoever. Yup.
Agreed, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the even if you don't agree with the message, at least they try to have it be a mix of both subtle and in your face, depending on how it works. It doesn't always work, but I can at least watch it and be like, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I don't feel like I'm getting bashed over the head with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even the freaking the original author for Gundam Unicorn, I believe he was pretty nationalistic himself.
Yeah.
But he was able to put those opinions aside just to make a good Gundam story. And you know what? Unicorn is like probably one of my favorite Gundam series of all time. And I love it because it's just so cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. Dude, my favorite one has to be like Stardust Memory and XIII MS Team.
Oh, I love XIII MS Team.
Yeah.
It's Apocalypse Now Gundam version.
Yeah.
Heck, I got the 100 Master Grade Goof in my shelf somewhere.
Yeah. Still haven't built that yet. Wow. A lot of stuff you have to build.
It's an old kit. Doesn't hold up well in some regards, but I like it.
Yeah. But dude, like, seriously, I wish Gundam can go back into that. Like, the whole, like, grounded into reality, like, the mobile suits are like tools, like a tank or a plane. Yeah, not like these super anime robotish. No funnels, no new type BS, just with tactics, and that's it.
That is why I want an anime adaptation of Gundam Sentinel, because that
same here, dude.
From what I heard, went much more the Top Gun route in terms of treating the mobile suits more like big bulky machinery and weapons.
Yeah,
like I love it. I love all the other Gundams in the UC. But I do admit it does go a little overboard, like the whole new type stuff.
Yeah.
I personally think Gundam the Origin corrects a lot of those mistakes from the original version, because the original version released new types way too late, to the point that it came out of nowhere. I personally consider it as, like the Beam Sabers, Tomino is taking inspiration from Star Wars and trying to apply it into Gundam. Although it
looks cool.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt that the Origin basically, it came in a little earlier, and as a result, it kind of, okay, it's in the story earlier, I can now buy it because it doesn't feel like it was an afterthought.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other like stuff that's like borderline super robot, like Gundam Wing. Like Gundam Wing, I kind of had a hard time taking seriously as a real robot, because it felt like they were trying to mesh both the super roboticness of G Gundam with the real roboticness of the old gun of UC, and it just felt haphazard.
Yeah. Yeah, but Gundam Sentinel was awesome, dude. And I like my G Gundam as well. To the point, like, I love all Gundam, but the problem is that they do all these same tropes. I want them to do something new with it. Like, new idea, new spin on the Gundam series.
Yeah.
IBO was close, though, but it fell on its head. It was too edgy. I know they're trying to be anti-wars bad and whatnot, but Thunderbolt did a better job than Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Oh, Thunderbolt was a bloodbath.
Yeah. That's how I always want to see Gundam, or how my versions of Gundam to be like. A drama.
Yep.
I know they want to do some new stuff with Iron Build, the Gunpla build series, but with alternative universe stories tend to follow the same super robot type formula rather than the UC titles do their own thing.
That's probably one of the issues I have with Gundam as of late. I feel like regardless of whether it's UC or one of the spin-offs, outside of the build fighters and build driver stuff, which is basically Yu-Gi-Oh with model kits, I do find the whole, Earth versus colonists thing to be tiresome and old at this point.
Yeah.
Like that's like a lot of people hated Awakening of the Trailblazer, and justifiably so. But I at least give it credit for trying to do something different with the whole alien action. Like, I'm not saying turn it into Macross, but at least divert from that formula a little bit. Or at the very least, go and explore stories we haven't seen in anime form before, like the whole Jupiter Empire stuff with the Crossbone.
Dude, I would love to see a Crossbone anime. And what Mad Matt said is like, I'll be totally down for a Cyberpunk Gundam, aka Armored Core.
Armored Core, man. Oh,
Armored Core Gundam, man. Dude, I just love the PS2 titles, man. I got Armored Core. Used to have Armored Core Formula Front, 3, Silent Line, Last Raven.
I'm trying to get the PS2 ones. I loved 4 and 4 Answer. I need to get 5.
Need to get back into 4.
As far as the setting is concerned, I think After War Gundam X is the closest we've gotten to an Armored Core style Gundam show.
Yeah. Like Diesel Punk Gundam, Final Fantasy style, 7 style.
Turn A, I think, was the closest to that.
That was Steampunk, not Diesel Punk with FF7.
Okay. Yeah,
but Gen 3, I love Gen 3 Armored Core, the PS2 titles. Yeah. They need to go back. I'm tired of them doing Dark Souls all the time. On Bloodborne. I just want them to go back into Armored Core.
Or hell, even do a third Otogi game if they're so inclined.
Yeah. Man, I haven't played Otogi or Tenshu.
I heard that's the problem. That's the problem I had with Sekiro. It started off as a Tenshu-like game, but they just couldn't leave the soul stuff alone. They had to put it in somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's good from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But, 5 games down the line, it's like, okay, something different, please.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with, like, Nio.
Yeah.
It's Night Out? It's like, it's basically the RPG version of Call of Duty these days.
Yeah.
One game I actually really got into that actually has like so much fun, and it's actually called Code Vein. I mean, basically, I love that game.
Me too.
And you can even customize your characters and stuff like that. It's just, but people are over on Reset Era are actually practically calling it like the Dark Souls for weebs type shit. It's annoying as hell.
It was already made by Japanese, so it doesn't really fit. Like, just because it has European style knights and castles doesn't mean it was made by them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see anyone named John Smith in that developer list.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope.
They're all East Asians.
Yeah. So it's another Century episode. I need to play those games. Heard those were great.
Oh, Code Vein is actually awesome. I totally would recommend it, man.
I got it on PS4. What's in
It's
storage?
Yeah, so do I.
it's basically the I guess you could say Dark Souls for casuals, but it'll still kick your ass if you play it without the second character keeping you company. And even
Yeah.
with the second character, it can still catch you off guard.
Vampire, yeah. To me, it's like with vampires, anime vampires. But imagine the same character, the same dudes who did Code Vein did a Vampire Hunter D game.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I know of Vampire Hunter D. I haven't
Yeah.
technically watched it. I've seen reviews of the second film, especially, which everyone loves. I think it was called
Yeah.
Bloodlust.
I got it on DVD. I loved it.
That's a very cool setting. Like it's like what 10,000 years in the future, and vampires basically run the show.
Yeah,
And speaking of vampire animes and also animes that didn't technically get finished, Trinity Blood. I'd like that to be finished.
the creator died.
I know that's
Sad.
what sucks.
Yeah.
It's basically
Also,
it's the same situation that what happened with Getter Robo Arc. The creator died.
Yeah, which is sad.
yeah, and the creator of the writer for High School of the Dead died
Died.
from a heart attack.
Oh,
Man, that really sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
what's that? Actually, the people that actually create such great anime and like such great manga, just actually freaking just up and leave just like that. I mean, look at like the creator for Ruby though. I mean, basically, he just actually died from comatose after an allergic reaction after having surgery.
oh. Ruby, you mean the guy from Ruby, Monty
Yeah, Manium.
After surgery, he died just like that.
Yeah, he suffered an allergic reaction, fell comatose after a surgery of some kind. I don't know what it was, but apparently after he died, they actually just butchered Ruby and just like started pushing like all these like gender politics and stuff like that. That's what's actually causing.
I have friends who are bigger Ruby fans than I am, and they can confirm, yeah, it is shit.
It got crap. Dude, let me do Ruby. My style. Now I'll make Monty
Exactly.
proud.
I mean, basically, we need more creations to actually, counteract these like SJW leftists and like
Yeah.
screechers over on Reset Air, because basically they don't control what we want to enjoy. Sort of like another example is like how Netflix is actually butchering the live action Cowboy Bebop without making it like a 1-to-1 like scenario, like a remake to.
Yeah.
It's basically Death Note all over again, except it's worse.
Worse.
At least with Death Note, I can at least give it the excuse of, and by
a
Adam
sequel
Wingard.
being like an unrelated sequel.
Yeah, that's the
Imagine
thing.
being like an unrelated sequel.
Yeah, I can kind of forgive Adam Wingard's Death Note, and by his own admission, he realized, it's not the same story. It's just my version. It's not a straight adaptation. So even though the movie's bad, I can at least forgive it for the fact that it was clearly trying to be something else, just with the stuff involved. But this is supposed to be a direct adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, and it's like, okay, you're changing characters that have the same names as the ones we all knew and loved for no reason.
Yeah.
And just why? It's about as off as having black elves in The Witcher. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, my dude? What's up, Last Sword Fighter Nun? How you doing?
Also, another thing that really got me mad was like how they want to dress down Faye Valentine and just like throw in like a non-binary like character from like the movie and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stupid as hell. And basically, if it were up to me, I would have actually chosen Keanu Reeves as Spike Spiegel over John Cho.
Yeah.
I mean,
Spike
at least
Spiegel.
Keanu Reeves,
Oh yeah.
at least Spike Spiegel could actually be played better by Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I mean, Keanu Reeves isn't Jewish, but at the very least, he looks the part.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna land. I mean, you're gonna put this guy. I mean, Spike Spiegel is what? I keep excuse me. I keep hearing people say he's Jewish. He certainly looks like it with the hair, and
Yeah.
his name certainly indicates that he is, someone of Caucasian descent. So it's like, why? Why do you do that? Just because he's an anime protagonist doesn't always
Yeah.
mean he's Asian, especially when the creators themselves indicated himself. I mean, it's usually the case, but not always. But it's like, yeah, you want to change a character's race or religion just to appeal to another group when by all means you're basically feeding them breadcrumbs. You're not actually.
Exactly. Thank you, dude. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Hate it when that crap happens, man. People suck it all up like Pac-Man and crap. Stop it, dude. I am a creator. I am a wannabe writer. Let me just put out that.
Yeah.
I don't give people breadcrumbs when it comes to character. I give them actual representation.
Yeah.
And it's not their character. It's just hey, he's a black dude. Black dude is here. The story doesn't care that he's black. He's just a black guy.
Mm-hmm. Like, can you imagine the shitstorm that would happen if someone like Black Panther was written to be a white guy? Those same people would throw their kitchen sinks out the window.
Yeah.
In the same breath.
Yeah.
And like the Predator, the most recent one, that god awful one. They put an autistic character in there, and he's basically Jesus for all intents and purposes. And I was like,
he would have been the first victims to go if he was fighting a predator.
Yeah, like what kind of stupidity is this? Like, even I don't care if I'm being represented, but at the very least, I know when I'm being insulted.
Yeah.
So it goes back to just give me a good movie, give me a good whatever with a good character and everything.
Yeah.
Only unless it matters in regards to the actual character, or background, like say Static Shock, then I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Just don't arbitrarily change it for no reason. Sometimes it slips through the cracks and it's fine, like the whole Black Nick Fury. Like, everyone kind of accepted that because they didn't bash you over the head with it.
Yeah.
So I can accept it for that reason.
Yeah.
I really
awesome.
I mean, I had to really give it to Samuel L. Jackson for playing Nick Fury. I mean,
he was
I
great.
really like that.
Yeah, same here. But other thing is, I'll just continue.
If you're gonna change it just to appease somebody when you could easily just get another character that already did, then what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like leave Spawn black, leave Invisible Woman white, leave Katana Asian. Like, no need for that. Unless there's a valid reason for it, there's none.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry about changing the subject for a bit, but I have to say 2020 has been a crappy year. Worst disappointing worst years of my life.
Just when you think the last one was the worst, another one comes out.
Yeah. This is out of COVID, but it's not out of COVID. But this is out of like disappointment, people whining and complaining and whatnot. The most sissiest out of all sissy years, man.
Yeah, it's like
first world problems, man.
It's like everyone just wants something to complain about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty of it to an extent. So I'm not gonna pretend I'm better than everyone because that would be arrogant of me. But
yeah,
you just want everyone to shut up for once.
Yeah.
And just enjoy a hobby.
Yeah. Shut up. Enjoy a hobby. Excuse me.
Go
Stay off the Twitter.
Go have your wife make a sandwich and just take a nap or a walk, something.
Exactly.
And then you have a lot of the old guard either retiring or passing away, like what happened to Sean Connery and David Prowse. God rest their souls.
Yeah.
For me, it started when Lemmy and when Lemmy Kilmister and Leonard Nimoy died. That's when it started for me.
Yeah. You know what's? Remember the anime overviewer, Alex? You
Yes,
just gave me you just gave me nostalgia because I used to watch his videos a lot. And what happened to the guy? He just retired?
more or less. I think he just I think he got too busy with real life and he just couldn't keep up with it anymore.
Yeah, don't blame him. But he was like an anime reviewer done right. He's not one of those nostalgia critic style dudes that are outdated now. Nor he's not like a pretentious prick like these
Yeah.
SJW types.
And when he was funny, it was like, you know, it wasn't out of a script. Like
Yeah,
I loved his review for High School of the Dead, where he went on a little rant with how much he hated how the fact that the zombies weren't being called zombies. Like I thought
yeah,
that was funny because it felt
yeah,
genuine.
yeah.
And another guy, I don't know if you heard of him, but he's a massive Gundam and Macross person. Wacky Modder 84, also autistic, has a lot of problems. He hasn't really made anything on YouTube in a while. He's trying to like move out of YouTube into like DTube and BitChute. But yeah, I love his
Maki Waki Mater who what 84?
84. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did like a breakdown of the Destiny Gundam and why it's like one of the worst in all of Gundam because it's basically the Rey Skywalker of Gundam. It doesn't fit within its own universe very well. And he did he did like two Q&A videos I enjoyed very much where it's like I actually did try to watch Gundam Seed when I was a kid,
You
but
didn't like it.
I couldn't get into it because it was just so boring. And so he kind of went into more in depth with it where it's like, okay, I understand why it has a divisive reputation that it is. And yeah, he sounds a little, he sounds loud and obnoxious, but he's also funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not his fault. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm waiting for him to inevitably come back at some point.
We need we need Macus X1, we need Dark Scream, we need we need Anime Overview, we need like Hajime JMO or Grappler JMO. I miss those guys.
Yeah, let me,
They just
I can put up a link on the chat if you
Yeah.
give me a moment.
Yeah, perfect. I'm still here, dude. Because I miss those guys, man. That got me deep into anime even more. And it's like a community felt like a community. There was rarely any drama. If there's like any arguments or drama, it's rare at best. Then what we got in now, they create stuff for the fans and for the fans. And that's how our community grew because of people like them. Unlike Anime News Network,
Or CBR for that matter, because basically CBR
grifters.
calling us like incels, freaking neckbeards and stuff like that. And quite frankly, I'm just getting sick of it.
Like back then, the closest we had to arguments was basically who would win in a fight and which version was superior. Nowadays, it's basically us trying. How do I put this? We're basically the we're basically how do I put this? We're basically the British and French trying to keep the Nazi Germans out at this point.
Yeah.
Rather than us just having fun fighting over who we like over other like console like in console wars fanboys or whatever. We're basically now we're trying to hold off people who never gave a shit and are pretty much just hijacking ours and making arguments that none of us were interested in the first place. So
exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So now it's like, oh, you got these people coming in calling our shows and us, fanboy, sexist or racist or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? You're coming in here making those accusations yourself.
Yeah, so basically, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, is like, what we're trying to say. Because basically, we don't care about your politics. Leave that shit at the door. Nobody cares. If you actually don't want to actually be a part of our group, just leave. Nobody's actually stopping you. And don't let the door hit you on the ass on your way out. That's all I can say.
Yeah, like I make it no personal secret that I'm very opinionated, but I'm not going to put a gun to your head and tell you to appeal to me or whatever because my opinion is different. Just, if you disagree, that's fine. No problem. No need to add meaningless shit that was never part of the conversation. So
Yep.
it's kind of no. Go ahead.
All right, I was thinking that basically, why don't we actually pick up right where these like old anti-tubers left off and try to actually be sort of like the next generation. Then when the next generation comes, we can actually pass it like like passing the flame, like
Yeah.
a passing of the torch per se,
Yeah.
for
Yep.
like for generations to come. Because basically, anime should actually be like our flame, and basically we should actually be carrying that flame
The
and trying to make
Phoenix
sure it doesn't
method.
die.
Yeah, the Phoenix method.
Yeah. I'm pretty much doing a similar thing where most of my channel has been pretty much video game playthroughs that I've recorded, that I've streamed from my PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been games where it's like for example, Call of Duty World War II. I know that game kind of got a little bit hammered, but I was fervently against that game because it did not do what it said it was supposed to do with regards to authentic World War II experiences. And what did it do? They went and replaced swastikas with generic crosses. They inserted characters with agendas that nobody gives a damn about. And it's like, yeah, your game is playable, but it's still shit compared to even the original COD games, and I'm not going to give it credit just because it exists. So it's like I'm basically I guess you could say Dark Side Phil, only not crazy as he is. And I used to watch him, so I'm kind of doing my own little thing when it comes to game playthroughs, playing stuff that I try not to be mainstream with. Like, for example, I played Horizon Zero Dawn. Everyone and their mother loves that game, and
I hated it.
I liked it to a point, but it eventually becomes boring after a while. And what did it for me was the game borrowed way too many things from too many other things. Like, I can look at this or that, and immediately I know what it is. Like, the robot animals is obvious. Zoids. They mention a metal devil, this great big machine that caused trouble. And it's like, oh, metal devil, what does that look like? I go up on a mountain and I'm like, it's a Reaper from Mass Effect. Hell, it's what it is. It's a giant metal cuttlefish, just like the Reapers.
Yeah.
Same purpose and everything. And the way the machines... Oh, I'm sorry.
You say like metal fish like you see in Darius, dude?
Mm-hmm. And then how the machines go around, how they killed everyone off was basically the Flood, the Xenomorphs, the Tyranids, the Zerg, pretty much the same thing, and the whole human race killing themselves off to reseed the planet. Again, Halo, just like with the Flood I mentioned.
Yeah.
Same thing, just different name. That's the problem. So, yeah, I'll call that game out for being borderline plagiarism instead of just parroting what everyone else says. Like, oh, the game's great, even though it's not that great, and it steals too many things from so many other things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of, I'm just on my own, kind of giving my playthroughs with my own opinions. I'm not really trying to imitate anybody else.
Yeah, or follow the flow of popularity. Dude, I'm sick of these grifting gamers, man. Con gamers, like Fate, like always play the popular stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, like most of PS5's library isn't appealing to me right now. I'll just wait till like year 2 or 3 to get one. Like everyone's saying, oh, I must get a PS5. No, I must get a Nintendo Switch because I already got a Nintendo Switch Lite case already.
Like, you play one Spider-Man game, you've played them all. It doesn't matter who it is. And really, the only game I have any slight interest in is the next God of War, because I've been with that series for years. Mm-hmm. But that's just one game. So I'm pretty much in the same situation that I'm in when it came to the Xbone. Like, you got like one Halo game that was new for the Xbone. It was shit. There's a remake of, and you've got 3 Gears of War games. And all the other games are ones I can play on the PS4 anyway. So now it's on the reverse again. Or it's
Yeah.
like, I see more on Microsoft than I am on Sony, and the Japanese are leaving Sony in droves.
Don't blame them, dude, because their games don't tend to focus on them. And why change the circle and the X button to this X and circle button? Dude, it's Japan. It's circle and X. and the games, look, they're not even like that much photorealistic games, and plus their lifestyle, they tend to be on the go. Like, for example, they like the Switch because it's on the go. They don't put on stock mode, they put on handheld mode because it's on the go. You can take it with them on the train, or on the street, or in the school, or in the office if your boss doesn't catch you, or on mobile.
The Switch is basically Nintendo's version of the Vita, only more successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically another thing that really freaking grinds my gears about Sony is actually the freaking censorship of anime games. Yeah, because
exactly,
basically
that's what it
they
is.
actually were afraid of, like, the whole freaking hashtag Me Too BS.
That's not true, dude. What's true is that they're xenophobic. That's what it is. Why stuff like Last of Us 2 actually had a detailed sex scene in it? Why isn't it in a video game in the first place?
I would say it's a mix of the two, because instead of going after the real predators like Harvey Weinstein, they just decided to. You have these hijackers who pretty much go and say, "Oh, ban anything that is non-Puritan."
Yeah. Or
while
farm.
at the same time,
It's a sexy woman thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just freaking mind-numbing, dudes. That's just how I see it. It's
Like-
mind-numbing to a point.
Like Capcom, bended over for the PS4 censorship of Devil May Cry. Like, I don't care how much of Trish's ass crack was bared. Don't touch it. There was no reason for it. I mean, I heard they eventually reversed it within a couple of months, but it still shouldn't have happened anyway.
Mind if I correct you real quick?
Go
I
ahead.
think you're actually referring to Devil May Cry 5.
What did I say?
Devil May Cry 4.
I did?
Dude,
Oh, never mind. Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5.
I hate to be a correctionist, but I just actually had to point that out for you, man.
No. I appreciate it. Because, I'm not reading from a script. My mind goes at 1,000,000 miles per hour, so sometimes stuff just goes and slips through the cracks.
Hey, we're only human, dude. That's
Yep.
that's how we are. We all make mistakes, and we all have to learn from them.
Yep. And I'm hoping that the Capcom, with that leak that happened, they see the outcry. It was like, holy shit, they do not want us trying to be Last of Us 2. Because you know what? Capcom tried to appeal to the West years ago with DMC, which nobody bought. Lost Planet 3, which everyone farted at and doesn't remember as far as I'm concerned. And it was like, and then how they went overboard with Resident Evil 6. Capcom was basically broke by that point with only like a few dollars in the bank. Then that forced them to pay attention. So now they're trying again, and it's like, what the fuck? You're literally doing what cost you the first time. Like, did you not listen?
Nope, they didn't listen at all.
No, they did not. And basically, the same thing could be said about Naughty Dog, because basically, Neil Cuckman, or should I say Druckmann, actually decided to destroy, such a wonderful franchise like freaking The Last of Us by actually, killing off Joel. And, spoilers for anybody who actually hasn't played it, but I'm not playing it because, I've already seen what happens in the game, and then basically I really don't want to play it because it's actually such a trash fire of a game. And basically, now the freaking Golden Joystick actually gave it Game of the Year.
Yep, I saw that. And, yeah. Wasn't good. Like, color me in the minority, but I didn't particularly like The Last of Us 1, but I can understand why people did, at least from the character standpoint. So when I saw what they did with him in the sequel, I was like, that does not make any sense. Why would you do that? And then they had the whole nudity and sexiness. Well, sexiness in quotes, because ew, I don't want to look at any of this shit. And then even the PlayStation account did like a tweet, a picture of Jin what's his name from
Ghost of Tsushima.
yeah, they had him bare ass naked with his ass showing. It's like, okay, you're censoring all these games, but these games get a pass, and you criticize us for sexualizing characters. And I hated that one show that he did where Cuck Mitten went on about Anita Sarkeesian and how we treat female characters like pieces of meat. And I said on Twitter, like, no, dude, you did that. You are treating these characters as seeing them as pieces of meat and not as actual characters. The fact that
Have this guy heard of Samus Aran? Sorry, an interruption. Of Metroid.
Oh yeah, Samus.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
Yeah,
she's
and they
like,
they forgot.
She's a
They forgot her. Yeah.
I even love her Zero Suit, but basically, that's just the thing. Basically, these people just want to actually do away with the so-called, and I quote, toxic male gaze. It's actually just ridiculous because basically they say sexy women are bad. We must destroy the patriarchy. We need to get rid of sexy women just so they can get rid of the toxic male gaze.
The fact that Lara Croft and Samus and the rest all look good as they do, if anything, is a bonus. And in a good, because we like to look at pretty things, okay? It's in our instinct.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, it kind of reinforces their character because even though they're good looking and we admittedly love them,
don't in their field they have to be fit anyway to do all those feats.
Yeah. But if anything, it also defines them because it's like, okay, they look good, true, but it adds to them. Like the fact that Lara Croft is as pretty as she is kind of goes along with it. And I can understand a character like Ellie not looking like the other ones because context is important, especially when a setting like Last of Us where it's the post-apocalypse. But don't give me a character like Abby who's just like ridiculous, even if plausible, and tell me all these characters are bad and yours isn't, when you're basically doing the same thing you tell us not to do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Ivy looks ridiculous in the outfit she wears in Soul Calibur, but you know what? We like it because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, sorry guys, I had to close the stream out because I'm getting kind of tired.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Hours. Yeah, it's been like almost like 2 hours, something like that. And any last words before you guys go?
No, I got nothing. I think we covered everything you wanted. Although I apologize if I may have interrupted more or not.
Everyone does that. Everyone does that, dude.
Yeah, and if my voice is a little loud, so
yeah. And Mr. Anime?
Well, I'm gonna close out like I used to close out all my videos. Just remember these 3 things, guys. Respect the waifus, enjoy your fandom, anime is freedom, and until the next one, this is Mr. Anime 343 saying, sayonara, everyone.
Amen.
And this is your boy. Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, please leave a like and a comment below the video, as well as don't forget hit that big red subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that blue bell for notifications on videos, podcast episodes, and live streams of games. And that's all to say for now. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Peace and sayonara.